What is up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. And this particular late video, depending when y'all looking at it, is my recap review commentary on David Makes Man Season 1, Episode 6. Yeah, I still got 3 more to make up to go, and I probably won't do them until tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to upload these videos probably either tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how I feel. But I definitely want to get out of this way. But shout out to my YouTube fam, for my YouTube fam, go ahead and subscribe and like, we can hear you, watch, give little likes and share it all. But anyway, y'all, again, we're seeing the part of the title, even though it's like, okay, don't make it, David Makes Man. But I don't know, I'm just taking interpretation of the title. It's like you have this young child, a teenager, young adolescent, you know, big kid with hormone changes. Okay, basically, and he's put in positions where he's becoming a man before his time, and a lot of times, that's not unfortunately that common. You heard like kids are being put in positions or in adult positions. So we're seeing like things that could possibly crack. And what I mean by that is like, okay, Gloria still she went Gloria went right to try to go to the unemployment office originally, and they're like, okay, we need your social security card. She like, okay, my number's up right here and there, but they're like this, identification person, you gotta have your social security card. And she like, I ain't got my blah. I went browse, and the woman was like, next, basically, you ain't got it, we ain't got time. You get your social security card, you come back, wait in line, whatever. So there's already a standstill with that, okay. So she at home trying to find her social security. She even got like KG looking for her card, whatever. But also, he's looking around and she's trying to cover up. But before I go further into like how we're seeing the current time, this may have been, I don't know, maybe this was actually the summer or during the time, we don't know, it was right before, like, I don't know, it was during the summer or whatever, but they go to basically a flashback before the beginning of the intro. And the intro is basically that Raymond, like I have brought up, and I think I brought it up in one of the videos before. I kind of like want, like how you see Raymond. You see Raymond, like, you see him in the neighborhood, but in the way it's like he doesn't seem like he lives there, and it's pretty much what it is. So Raymond, we see the suburbs, and we hear Scott Boys like, choice you make, it's a choice, about, the choice you makes of life, decides the path of life you go on, one of those type of quote statements stuff about, right? And we got Ray, and he's sitting there, it's like, like having, locks he got in his hair or something like that. No, not half of it. It's like at least an inch and a half, 2 inch locks come out the shower, walk across the towel. Because he's a nice home. He's in the suburbs. He ain't in the ville or village or whatever. If it is, it's a gated community with a name of village on it. Because you just seeing, you see stainless steel, look like one of the kitchens you see in one of those Food Network shows. Just everything. This mom's looking like she got scrubs, like she a nurse practitioner or something like that. I don't know what it was, but it was his mom. And she like, are you gonna look for a job today? Okay, I got you. He got his little polo, outfit on, stuff like that. Looked like he used, the Palmer's lotions on his elbows and everything. So, no, I meant to say cocoa butter at least, not because lotion don't work too well for my bones anyway. But what I'm saying is so he's on his way, right? And then I don't know if in the parking lot of some high school, some college, whatever. And he talking to a boy, he like, I got this, I got you. And he asked for some mollies or some other stuff. I got the other ones he was asking about. I got shit like this, whatever. And he's trying to get to just some girl, laying blah, 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 and she ignored him, whatever. So he leaves. He goes to his other parking lot, and his little green, like, polo, shirt he got on, he changes, turned to black tee, put his little grill at the bottom, stuff like that, and, got, black cap on. I don't know if it's a snapback or not, or fitted, but, that's what he on. So we're kind of showing, this is when his car was still, like, in good condition or whatever, right? And he on his way, and he meets his dad, and his dad, you could tell, like, Sky was saying at the end of the last episode, like, they kind of more so had a brother relationship, a little big brother, as opposed to having, like, a dad and son connection. And what Sky was talking about, like I could tell you didn't hear like a hi dad or nothing, unless he called him whatever the case is, but you could tell like it's not, even if kids that are really cool with their parents, you still sometimes could tell. I mean, the language, whatever, like as a parent, a child, even if say, how our parents are fortunate, if y'all seen like, parents that look like they can be their kid's sibling because they got the fountain of youth or whatever in their faces, you know what I mean? And but it's just you see a disconnect in them having like a father and son relationship. And because even when they're talking, but the Skyline know this, I know where you've been parking because I can tell certain dents, some all dents, your car, but it's your car though, blah blah blah, and everything else. And you got Ray up there smoking a black, and he was like, people gonna catch like you basically like making a funk, whatever. So he got rid of the black. And Scott, he was Ray was trying to give us support. It's like, hey, we shouldn't have Snowy doing this, or we shouldn't have this person. This guy's like, no, we do want this certain way. This is how it's run, okay, whatever. And we're saying something like to him, like, okay, are we just gonna be sitting here, or whatever? And then it kind of like flashbacks forward to the future and the present, which is after, like I said, Sky's death, and like I said, one of the earlier scenes was Gloria trying to at least attempt to, and get the process of getting like her unemployment benefits, which is already, like seem like even if you start to get them, because it's different up here. I forgot who we call for unemployment because I got it one time 10 years ago, my darn self. Yeah, like at least no earlier than like 12 some years or something like that. One time I had to do that, and it was like it's a system and how you have to sit. You go to a place called Michigan Word, fill up your resume stuff, and then the file from there. Um, so, but at that time, after she goes to that, and she, like I said, we go fast forward when she's talking to KG. Now KG's outside, still got on the LeBron James shoes. I thought they were Jordans, but Ray says something about, I like them, can I hold them shoes? And KG like, why I keep saying KG is JG? I want to call him KG. Oh, Lord, y'all been calling the wrong. I just realized it. Okay, the JG, he, I don't know why I would not say J, considering, I mean, I don't call my dad by his government name anyway, but his name, has J in it. It's just two initials, though. Really, you start with a J, okay? Oh, so anyway, like I said, he's trying to have it, find the security. He found like an old driver's license. He found some security, like a home security system, and she's calling her mom. And her mom was one of those people like, I know the Bible, but I'm judgmental, so I feel like just because I know the Bible that I'm better than other people and I have the right to talk and attack certain folks, whatever, them type of people. Because when she's like, can you, basically trying to ask her mom, can you could tell it's straining into the phone conversation, but she asking her mom like, can you help find my security guard? But let's rewind back because I also forgot, because like I said, I do this on top of my dome. I don't be, even though my heart rate tells should be writing notes, I don't. Before she even got also into the house, Raymond sees her, with some groceries or whatever, and he's helping her up the stairs, and he's asks how you doing, and goes like, she's just trying to make it, and he has, 3 pills, whatever. I guess they're supposed to be painkillers he's trying to offer her. And she like, I'm good with it. He was like, but they'll help with the pain. But he's like, you know what? I just want to make sure you're okay. So, um, Gloria still does take the pills, because like, take the pills with her. And, she's in there. So, like I said, we fast forward back to about her mother. You could tell on the phone was judgmental. And, like, what, basically some terms are used, like, with some points. But she talked to Cole. She didn't flat out say, was she, like, using again or something. But she was, like, talking. And then she, and then when she explained, what you need security card for, she was like, Mom, he found it unemployment. Unemployment? Like, what you do? And she was like, well, it doesn't matter, Mom. I need unemployment stuff. I'm, behind the rate. Oh, that's irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. And she's up here judged to get, Bible thumping. I ain't got one of my Bibles up here. Bible thumping, blah, blah, blah. And the rod, and you have to look in your kids' eyes and blah, blah, blah. And look at, just being a judgmental as, I don't feel like saying the same term, but let's just say here. But I want to call him JB so bad. But hey, JG is hearing his mom. It could tell by, even though by this time the mom, first she had her mom on his grandmother on speaker, and then had her talking on the phone. And JG decides to be a man and decides to obviously sell his shoes. So he's walking around with the socks on. He just got the money, and he's like, Star and him have became friends, and he's like, I gotta be a man and help, blah 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 blah. So they do get an envelope, and at first they do try to go to the, to the office, but it's closed, and it would do the fact that they're kids. But I think her name is Hurtu. I could have sworn that ain't that the landlord's name is Hurtu. I know I'm saying wrong, but it sounds like it. She mean as hell most of the time. But hurt you. I'm just calling her trying to get it right. Is it hurt you or hurt you? Either way, I'm no problem mispronouncing it, y'all. But anyway, so they get an envelope. Star helps them write down the envelope, and they put it in this Dropbox. But it's obviously one of these Star Dropbox where it don't completely go in all the way and shoot down into the thing, because later on we find out basically somebody went in there and got some free money, okay? And JG is walking around with some, red socks on, because he came back in and Glory was like, "What in the world did you do?" He was like, "Mama, I made sure I paid rent." She wasn't happy, but I was like, "Those were a gift, for your granddad." He was like, "But I need to help my." He felt like he needed the help, whatever, and it's okay. I went to pay the rent and blah 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 and all this other stuff, and he like would bring the TV. She was like, "But I pawned the TV in for food. That's why I did that, whatever, right?" And she was just like in the end, like her mother, "Okay, but don't do no crazy stuff like that again, okay?" And she's like, "Just don't tell David nothing like that." So, like I said, now here's the thing that's going on at school, on off a couple times. Now, we have a scene where we have a representative from Hurston, and you have five boys in there. You have one boy talking about like the activities of football and stuff like that, and then Saren, I think she started asking a question about Saren. He was talking about with singing and stuff. And something about Sky Station, like, chance to make it or something like that, how he kind of still he wants David. It's like he's looking out for David, but he wants David to look out for David only. I know it's what Sky comes to him as well too at times, as far as giving him advice, as we've seen since the first episode. So after that, we sit there and we hopefully y'all. I just realized looked at time at 11:12 p.m. And the reason why I'm looking at that is I haven't done my day 7 yet of my video journey that I'm trying to do. So I'm basically trying to see the wrap up, because that means I'm just gonna make a short podcast and upload it as soon as possible and get it on there if I have to. Because once I'm just gonna see, because I want. So I'm trying to hopefully get this done by 11:40, normally 11:45, and you know, I like I said, I gotta start doing my thing. But anyways, y'all. So we, David makes it where he make it sound like he's a good singer. You should hear him and stuff. I also heard like the program is like you stay 6 days on campus and the intense program and stuff like that. Whatever. It's one of those like I don't know what they were saying, like a type. I mean, it's on campus type of high schools. Um, so, and then of course that brought attention to the lady talking and asking about what David does. And David brings up where he doesn't do activities, but his mom, works as a diner, is hardworking environment. He takes care of his brother. He loves his brother. But even though he doesn't get a chance to, like do a lot of activities, the responsibility that he has gives him responsibility, like helps him as far as he's saying. And I'm not, and the fact that his mom, even though his mom takes more extra trips to the diner, and thinks that's going to help with getting him to Hurston or whatever, Thurston or Hurston, that he realizes about basically goes on speaker, basically was like like a campaign speech or something, like as far as like that doesn't make you just strong. It's all about being the best and striving to be best, one of those things. And you could tell because Felicia Rashad, when she has that look, and if y'all been used to watch Felicia Rashad and some of the things, of course, never being known. I mean, more just Bill Cosby. But if you see like the remake of Polly, remember Polly 1 or 2, when she's kind of looking at you like disappointed, like being sarcastic. You know that she always gives us like a but it's like she has a smirk on her face, but she kind of looking like this. So, as Dr. Woodstrap, she is looking like that, okay? So, that's how it goes. And then there's a later scene where you have Sarah, I don't know if it's the same time school, and Marissa, how sometimes they're a trio or whatever. And he's asking like, how do you think it went with her? And Saren, which I think unfortunately, the abuse part and stuff like that. He's kind of like, no, I wasn't thinking about him, brother, and kind of like walks away. And you got Marissa like, stupid, you up here bringing up her sin, blah blah blah, and it's kind of like, like I said, they both are going through some stuff, and both of them need like a psychiatrist. And Sarah is a whole nother step above because his whole thing, he need to be taken out of the home and be raised by people are not going to put him in a harmful environment. Okay, so unfortunately he's in that predicament. So we have another, like I said, it was going back and forth. So like I said, we had that going. But also when David comes in, I think this is from school, and I don't know because I'm not going to go in particular order. When he's on his way back home and he comes in, it's one of the times where he has losing. And by the way, y'all, again, no one seems to notice that when he becomes nervous or an anxiety or something, or maybe been traumatized, again, that one, I think that's right left, begins to tap. And if y'all hear that click, click, click in the background, is notification. I'm not that darn pop. It's probably my darn Yahoo email on my phone, just up here doing that. Or, anyways, the show continues. so, um, so actually, he comes in from school, and there's like I said before then, okay, that notification, but like I said, that tap, it's like at least 3 times, y'all, he keeps doing this tap with his leg. And I don't talk about it, but I went to neurologist and I have that, but it's not because of something that makes me upset with it. It's just something that's the doctor neurologist, and this was just last month, where they say I have a tick, possibly since childhood. That's all they can come up with, but they can't find it, say, in the scan or nothing like that. But when he does it, you could tell it's because of his emotions, and when he feels a certain way or bothered in some form, it starts to tap. So that's his reason of doing that. It's a condition with the nerves, but it's like it's also is caused by is something is bothering him. And I'm surprised nobody is noticing when he's just tapping his leg and it just comes out of nowhere. And so, well, not out of nowhere. When, like I said, when he seems like he's especially upset, more so. So, like I said, how he's trying to get also this paper to be, or will actually get more authorization to get more visits to see Dr. Bree, which we'll see later on about why he wanted those done. So we see when he comes back home and he realized, like I said, the whole thing with finding out that JG did sell his shoes and so forth. And this scene almost seems like as if this actually is happening. It's one of the more realistic hallucinations that David has, or maybe how him and his mom they have the same thing. So he comes in basically to confront his mom about, like, why is this happening? Okay, just like David had overheard his mom, talking to Mrs. Herchu about the whole thing with rent and everything else right before I think he got into, what I'm saying, like I said, with so much happening, like when he got home from school one of these times. And she's saying, like, well, people still from that, whatever, did you get a receipt, blah, blah, blah. Like, you got to Monday, getting your asses out of here, blah, 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 on the street, basically. And David hears that. So, like I said, there's so much going on. When he goes upstairs, basically, it's like the hallucination is he confronts his mom, like, why you weren't there to watch JG from selling his shoes and stuff like that? What the heck were you doing? And the mom is saying, like, you only supposed to focus on Hurston and just getting in there, okay? And he's just like, like they arc back for he's basically for his mom. I was like, I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to get employment, unemployment, and stuff like that. I'm trying to do the best I can consider the circumstances and what I'm trying to do. And she's like, because she would check, like, you better watch who the heck you talking to. And the little brother, in the sense of the end of the hallucination, has like the pills in his hand, and they're both looking because she already questioned like, what is David's behavior? What is he doing? Like, is she ain't flat out saying, "Are you becoming one of these D boys?" But she is like wondering who's around because it's interesting enough. Now, Saren is David's best friend, and Marissa, I don't it's like it's a crush that he don't want to say it's a crush, and Marissa doesn't want to flat out say that she has a crush on David. But I also do notice this. When David is at home, besides taking care of Gian first, you don't see like when he does homework or nothing like that. We're not focused on. We see him in school, but we don't see him like any like homework or what he does is read a book, does do anything. You don't see who he's close with. Besides occasion, like I said, just like seem like having interaction with Miss Elijah. I don't think he even really associates with Star. It seems like we're seeing that JG is actually interacting more. So it's kind of like, to a certain extent, it's almost like David is what I'm seeing was a loner, and when Sky was alive, that was his friend when he's Day. Okay, like I said, you seem like from a terror, but like I said, he doesn't. He seemed like he's an introvert to a certain point. That's what I just noticed. I'm like, I know it's like yeah, he interact people, but it's like at the same time he's to himself at this, even though to himself, you know what I mean, to a certain point. So, anyways, like I said, so we got like some KG said about these pills, and the mom just said, no, I just take her pick because they had to look at her face like, okay, who are these pills belong to? Is David looking like, okay, are these pills left over from when they were in my bag? I just want to drop them off. What is your mom pills? But then it turns out, and what really happened was he just wanted to ask his mom to get permission to go see Dr. Bree. She was like, sure. She asked him like, why you wouldn't do that? And he said basically like because I just want to get more help, mom, and stuff like that. So, but he does go try to look and see where the rent is. Drop a see, maybe, hopefully he could find it. And he sees Taryn. At first, I thought it was another hallucination, and she's up here dancing, in the in this little. It looks like, I don't know, like it's a little gym or a little dance area and stuff. I guess they got apartments or something that looked like she was, room whatever. So that was that. But like I said, we see another scene where he's in school because Marissa's asking about okay, she's trying to get into the school and get a recommendation from this. She already got a doctor in one class, and then she's talking about, did you get this recommendation and how did it go well with the Thursday meeting? And he's like, oh, everything went fine, but it looked like Ruth was telling him like, you keep using this story again about poor as me. This is bad on the reputation of the school thing to keep running this woe is me story. My mom is, got all these hardships and stuff, whatever. It's the only thing that he can come up with, like do better, basically. But he's saying Marissa like, no, everything is fine. So when Marissa's asking, like I said, about the recommendation stuff doing homework, again, if you see at least the second time you see that foot starts to tap, whatever, right? And he started getting nervous, and then he finished his work, and even the teacher is another instructor that like, well, I was I was just coming to get the work. He was like, no, fine, blah blah. So we see, I don't know if it's the same day, whatever, but the next day, or something, he goes, and like I said, the principal fellow is really has this stereotypical view of how she views David. And she's so stuck, and just because I want time to say, well, they had a light problem, what went on, and she seems to be stuck to make it seem like David is problematic, or comes from a problematic environment at least. And it's interesting to see that the sad part is, yeah, David is around like a problematic environment, but the messed up part was, as far as right now, was actually Gloria was the victim in the case and was put in that predicament. But at the same time, Gloria's not sitting here and neglecting her kids neither. At least what we most of us probably see on the screen. But the one who she needs to be actually looking at, asking these questions in safe spaces, is Sarah. Sarah's the one in an abusive environment. Sarah's the one that needs to be not only be like have the the principal instead be focused on that. She be focused on Sarah. But see, she has a subject to put and categorize and stereotype and probably other words, whatever, a stereotype, and be so stuck on saying is if David is the one that has issues. Now, he does have mental health concerns, But, like I said, because he goes in there to ask her, did his mom call? And again, she's asked this bit, at least asked about, I call it extra, but I'm just saying, as far as like, like I said, her thing being so stuck on asking almost in several different ways the same question and keeps trying to drill and is drilling David about his environment. Well, well, are you being fed? Sit down. Are you being fed? Yes, you are. Are you sure you ate today? Are you sure you ate breakfast? Did you eat breakfast? Are you sure you ate breakfast? Blah, blah, blah. How are things at school? If if you're in a safe environment, you can always let me know. You won't betray your mother and tell me you're safe. You can come to me if you're safe. And then a quick hallucination, he was like, you are annoying as fuck, Mrs. Sparrow, okay? And which is true, but that's not what I'm saying. He was like, thank you. Okay, and she's like, thank you, because door. But like I said, she's so focused on saying that David is in a negative fire. Now, this is before David is slowly becoming makes man, but it's just her thing of saying like he's man. Now, there are some people who can pretend so good that you would never know that they're dealing with addictions and they're still able to function every day or most of the times. Or you would never know that they're homeless and they're still able to excel well in school or certain other things or being hungry. But it's just her being so stuck on David being this stereotype. It's really disturbing and disgusting. So why don't the Wood Trap don't have a talk back with Miss Prince Phillips, or I'm like, or is this going to be more comes to play about this principal and her again over again exceeding, being quote quote concerned about Dave's condition. Okay. Even like I said, Dr. Breed, like I said, was last episode was like, okay, what is the problem? So, anyways, like I said, now also too, before I think he asked the principal stuff like that. It was also time around this time when everything's going on that he goes and get Shinobi asked like get Ray to come down there because he confronted Ray about leave my mom and my brother out of this. And he's like, Ray's like, because he's in his face, like, David's like, leave my family out. He's like, no, that's cool. But he could get it she'll get it from me or whatever. I already tried to offer you a deal, bro, of something like that. And he basically saying like, I just was trying to, help out and not to brother shoes, like basically like Ray's trying to say, like in the end, like, I'm cool. I don't have like no ill tissues or trying to put your family in the middle of this. Because, David already thought like, like is his mom back on these pills and like you got something to do with this. But then, Ray's still trying to say, I'm trying to be good, look out for you. David walks away. Okay. And Ray like, where are you going? They kept going. So he was still up stairs, looking from afar. And so, now, like I said, also in the school, there's also a scene where Dr. Who's trapped, and it was he was going to ask her a question, and later on, he was going to ask her, guess just like finally ask her reputation, but Dr. Woodtrap get a call. Guess what? It's Dr. Bree. Finally she got approved because remember the principal Pharaoh had to prove it as well. I had to file authorization for him to keep getting sessions. Or probably she thinks like hopefully, possibly, even though I know certain things are confidential, some things are not during when you have therapy sessions, but therapy slash counseling sessions. But hopefully something will come out that will be prove her right that David's in a neglectful environment with these sessions. But so he could leave earlier because they this is when Sarah and David were talking a little bit about going, he being 9 o'clock for Sunday service or Sarah's church that he sings at, and his parents go to, and Marissa's like, oh, we can all go together. He like, chill out, Marissa. This is supposed to be Men's Day. Be quiet, basically. So yeah. Also too, Gloria said that she was gonna go to a meeting. I think it was the day before, the day after, or something like that. So, meeting as well. But in the meantime, again, Gloria tries one more time. Actually goes to Social Security office. She has a birth certificate, but here's another darn um, horseshoe that messed up what she was trying to accomplish. Now the man said, "Oh, here's your birth certificate, but I can't figure out the name." So you're gonna have to, wait. It'll take 4 weeks. You're gonna have to basically she's gonna have to get a damn near new birth certificate, you might as well say. So she gets Social Security. And the earliest she get is 4 weeks, and expedite she get for 2 whole weeks. And she's trying to work on it. And you got a woman that's like, okay, you heard the man. It's time for you to leave. And she's still kind of walks in like she's like confronting the woman eyes to eyes, like not today. But she changes her mind, and just finally leaves. So again, here is Gloria now with a step back. Now she even had a birth certificate, but the man was trying to say, "Oh, unless you have a passport, I can't read this," and blah blah blah. And so again, Gloria is stuck. So when she goes later on to the meet, first before she leaves the Social Security office. Now we see her look at the call, and I think it was Jackass should have been the correct name. She should have had in that damn caller ID of her phone, as if she was going to doll that Jackass of a boss, that boss whatever that was a predator ass that was trying to come on her, and but goodness we found out later that she doesn't go with that damn offer. So we also see later on that Ray still drives the car. I guess he got it to drive again or something, because he pulled up and somebody came and he gave the keys to whatever. So I don't know where they were driving off or what was he doing or whatever. But anyways, like we said, so she's has a problem as well. So when David meets up with Dr. Bree, he's talking, and Dr. Bree's asked a couple questions. He asked him like, why do you return? He was like, well, for me, basically this helps me. He's like, what? Am I just talking to myself? And he's like, well, food will probably help, because last time to get Dr. Bree got over, he got her some snacks and stuff like that, some pop and something else, yeah, whatever, right, and some candy, some chips, I think. So he was like, go get a Kit Kat. So when he leaves, we see kind of the reason why, we start to see a close up. And we see the pad where, you got prescription notepad stuff, with a bunch of them on there. And we see a close up. Then we don't see nothing else of the session or what occurred afterwards. So I don't think too much had happened, because happened after that as far as in the school. Now, we got Gloria also. She goes to the meeting and she's explaining how the devil can sometimes tempt you. 1 minute seem like everything's going well, and then everything falls. And it falls to a point where it seems like, why the hell is all this is happening thing? And everything seems like it's just going wrong. And sometimes it's tempting that you want to pop a pill or drink a drink or whatever, or just tune out from reality. And sometimes it is tempting, and it and also has it where she loses connection with God. And she explains everything like, I have my boss, says maybe if I would have smashed my boss, I was a good job. If I would have upped my boss, then I wouldn't have to worry about being this thing. Probably got some days off and would have took this pill, would have did this and that, and not been this particular where I was. And I got all this stuff. I'm getting schooled, trying to just force to get unemployment benefits, and I have all this other stuff. But she still, like I said, decided to go forward and not take any pills, and try to still push forward. And just saying like I said, every day that's covered her life. So when after the meeting, you see this one of the people that was in, I guess, the narcotics. I guess that's in a Narcotics Anonymous, and she's like, did you want to she talking to her, she's like, how you doing, Max? She's like, well, everything kind of clenny right now. And she just got this look, and you know what? Here's the picture she got right here, like, just like trying to hold it on to her, like, I know sometimes she needs help, only to cost you a little bit. Woman did this, it took, basically took off. So Gloria, did basically a drug transaction right in the middle of the NA meeting. Well, afterwards, but So, anyways, also too, there's been a couple times that Sky is back now in the sky blue tux that he had on last show that we've been seeing. Now, also a couple times he was encouraging David. David's trying to kind of he's trying to encourage, like, make sure you get in the hearse, and that should be your goal. Gloria's gonna get herself together. Don't worry about that, okay? David's like, no, not everything's fine, whatever. Don't worry about it. And one of the times that he did seem that stood out is like he began to fade, and like I said, because she's like really trying to say like to him, like, Dr. Woodstrap really is in your corner, so like just focus still on your education, keep that in mind. But still, David is like, just overplacing. Then Sky began to somewhat had faded. And like Sky's dudes like to encourage him and stuff, but then Sky also said something like this: "I told you not to look," or something like that, or something. And but like I said, this is after like David, like I said, when he went to the psychiatrist on the same day, and he was trying to get a recommendation from Dr. Trap and all this other stuff. So, like I said, Gloria also went to Mrs. Gertrude again, and she was like, it's not all there, but I got you. I'll get the rest soon. So Mrs. Gertrude said, even though the management's on my ass, I'll give you two weeks. So she was like, I'll give you a receipt. So, but David, like I said, when he's like trying to get away from Sky, there was also a vision. I mean, I don't know, it was a foreshadow warning or nightmare, but it was like David was out at night with a backpack in the Ville, and then you see like the concrete, blocks, and they were coming up like towards his head, like there was like a whole like some wall. I'm not gonna say garage front, but this whole thing from like maze, and he wakes up out of sweat, from it. So again, it comes up those words about choosing your choice is yours and stuff. Because this is like towards the end with David. Now we sit there and we see like Dave, like Skies follow him to the second floor to his each like and he falls like he was like, leave me the fuck alone. He falls. It's the prescription pad. All of it obviously looked like a majority of okay. He just took the whole thing like the psychiatrist thing. The prescription pad out. So again, Sky was like right there, but then he fades into smoke. And his choice is obviously going to work with Raymond. Because Raymond's just right there, and his dad has faded. And he ends up walking, and you like to hear the same words that Sky, I think, said at the beginning of the show. And he was saying, like, your choice, the choice you make is yours. Sometimes you can fool people, your life, yours. Sometimes you can fake it, and sometimes you can fool people. Sometimes you can't, or you might be able to. But it fades where basically now David's choice is starting to get into the game. And I mean, he was already, taking, sample stuff like, you up here, carrying, little now he was already like transferring drugs, stuff like, but like being a part, whereas now he's like, especially the last straw, it's like if his mom was not a predicament where it is, or they are like possibly getting kicked out, and his mom getting a Ponte and all this stuff, then he would take that choice. But now David has chosen this. He's about to choose that life. So we see how that goes. Sorry, y'all, it was a little bit all over the place, whatever, but hopefully y'all at least enjoyed it, whoever watches this, like I said, just like during about a whole month late. So anyway, hugs and loves, everybody. Take care, and I would definitely see y'all in the next video.